There are a few things we want to do to set up PowerShell to work on our system. So first, we want to be able to run our own scripts. That means so there's a whole authentication of scripts that is a protection for Windows, and we need to allow us to run local scripts that are not signed. So I'm going to start PowerShell. Well, hit Windows, type power. That will get us to PowerShell, but I'll launch it, and this won't work because this is the command that we want to type to set the execution policy to execution policy remote signed with the scope of local machine. So this is the command, but if I press enter and say yes, it's going to say, I'm sorry, you don't have permission to do that. That's because I just launched the regular PowerShell without launching it with administrative privileges. So this is a setting that you have to be running with administrative privileges to complete. And so I'll close that PowerShell, and I'll do the Win key and power, and we have run as administrator. So I want to run PowerShell as an administrator. So now I've got PowerShell open, and I want to say set execution policy and execution policy and remote signed and scope local machine. Set execution policy is the command, and the execution policy option are remote signed, and the scope for that is going to be local machine. And I want to say a Y for yes and press enter, and then it saves at that time. So I just expanded the execution policy to allow unsigned scripts. So I'll exit that. I also want to turn on developer mode, and so I'll hold down the Win key, and gotta type developer. Let's see, Win developer settings. There we are. And then I want to turn on developer mode. So yes, I want to do that. So it's looking for various packages. I don't need all of the accompanying packages for developer mode. I just need that permissions turned on. And so it's going to take a few minutes of searching to find that, or to not find that. And then it'll go ahead and give me developer mode with an error, and that's okay. We just need to enable developer mode. Okay, there's the error. That's okay. All right, and now I want to keep my scripts separate from the and keep track of them. So for me, for this class, I'm just going to create a folder on my desktop called PS Scripts. So right-click, new folder, and I'm going to call it PS Scripts for PowerShell scripts. And then I want to create a shortcut to the integrated scripting environment that comes with PowerShell. And to do that, I'm going to find where that shortcut lives and then copy it here. but I want the default working directory to be this PS scripts folder. So it's not, so I'm keeping track and I'm very intentional about where my PowerShell scripts live. So I'm going to use the Win key, type power to find PowerPoint, and here's the shortcut for the PowerShell ISE. Well, there it is up there, Windows PowerShell ISE for Integrated Scripting Environment. So if I right-click and say Open File Location, then I can see the menu where that lives. And so I'm going to right-click and copy that shortcut and then paste it onto my desktop. And so this will launch the integrated scripting environment. I'm going to edit the properties of this though, so that where it starts is not just home drive and home path, but in my desktop, and from that desktop directory I want to be in my there, PS scripts directory. So I'm navigating around so that I can select the PS scripts directory on my desktop to be the place, the directory where this application will start. So you'll need to remember your Windows navigation, and if your Windows system is installed on the C drive, you can start on the C drive. If you want to use those environment variables, home drive, home path, that works, and then just put a backslash on the end of that and start working through it to find this PS scripts directory. So now that I have that, I can test to see if my environment is working by launching PowerShell. And there's PowerShell, and it's running there. And I can do an ls. And I'm looking in. In my case, I've got off the C drive in my users folder inside my class, which is the user I use for running my classes. I have a desktop folder, and inside that I've created the PS scripts folder. And right now there's nothing in it. I can create my first script. So I'm going to say create a new script, and it's just going to be a hello world script. So I'm going to use the write host command. So as I'm typing, PowerShell environment suggests what it thinks I might want, so I can save keystrokes and reduce typos. So it found write host. So I'm going to press enter and keep that. I could also just type it out. And then what I want to say is hello world, like a standard hello world program. So I can save that either with the Control S or the save. So it is in desktop PS scripts, and I want to change the name to hello.ps1 as the default suffix. There we go. Now I've got a split screen. I've got my editing screen on top and my command prompt on the bottom. So now if I do an ls, I see, oh, there's my script. Yay. And now if I run the script, I can either use F5 or I can run it with the green arrow key. If I click run, then there's my output, hello world. So now I know that I've got my Windows PowerShell set up, and I can create scripts, and I know where I'm saving my scripts, so I can go back in and edit them and take breaks and build things.